Why don't we get started? First of all, thank you for being with me. Most of you either know of me directly or indirectly, either through the exit system, because I'm a mindset trainer, or maybe through your broker who has attended some of my seminars and trainings, or maybe you met me at the convention. Not last year, because there wasn't one, but however we met, I'm glad you're here. Uh, I designed a program that is not for everybody. There was I've been with Exit for about oh over 20 years, since 2001. Yeah, 20 years. And I've been in the real estate business and the marketing business for about 30 years. And one thing I've noticed in our industry, when we take agents from an office, not every agent walks in with the same mindset or even walks in with the same goals or desires. And not everybody really wants to be full time. A lot of agents like to do real estate on the side, and that's very valid, and they should continue doing that. But there was always a small group of people, about 20%, just 15 to 20%, who always want to go to that next level. They want to push themselves. They don't want to just be in real estate. They want to excel. They truly want to break down the walls of limitations in their business and just go to the next level. So when I was designing this boot camp, I was working already as a coach. I was doing my own trainings. I primarily coach team leaders and brokers and regional owners. So those are the people I work with very closely on the day-to-day basis. But as I was putting this together, one of the things I realized is there's a small group of agents, usually about 20 to 25 every quarter, who want to go to the next level. They're ready. They've done real estate here and there, or they've done it okay, or they've done it right, but not quite where they want to be. I designed this boot camp. So it's a demanding course. So from the get-go, you need to know this course was not designed as a webinar where you observe the class. This course was designed to hold you accountable for your results and work with a group of people that you will get to know very intimately in the course over 3 months to get you to that next level. So who am I? My name is Key. I've already told you a little bit about me. I'm a mindset trainer. I consider myself a prospecting strategist and a marketing on the internet. I specialize in those areas. So the way I look at the business, you got to have the mindset to think about your business correctly. You got to have the tools. I mean, without the tools, how are you going to do your business properly? You got to have the planning, and then you have to have the prospecting. The prospecting is getting the business. So if you don't have your prospecting or your mindset and your time blocking correctly, you cannot run this business at the ultimate level. You could do okay. I know a lot of people who do well. But the question that you got to ask yourself, do I want to do just okay, or do I want to go to the next level? And that's really the question you want to be nudging yourself towards. So here's the only URL you're going to need. The only URL you need is that one you see on the screen. The one that says bit.ly AWMJ21. That URL has additional videos. It has the registration. It has the requirements. It has the dates. But I'm going to cover all of that with you right now so that you can understand what am I after. So there are two big questions I confront. So I confront the first question is, why is it that 80% of all real estate is done by about 20% of agents? What is it that the 20% do or work on that they get to do 80% of the business? And the second question is, why is it many agents stay in that zone of working with buyers much longer than they should, meaning they never develop the muscle or the training or the mindset to become what I would call listing agents. what is the barrier? What is it that holds them back from becoming listing agent? And the reality of this is lack of planning. There's a lack of business planning, like lack of putting together a big picture plan. So let's tackle some of those ideas so you can see where the mindset of real estate success usually hovers. I personally believe that every real estate agent within the exit system who is full time and wants to can achieve a bronze award every year. In our system, a bronze award is an award that is given to an agent who does about 25 transactions a year. Now, 25 transactions a year is really 2 transactions a month. Every full-time agent who desires it can have it, but there are some obstacles. What are the obstacles? Well, you got to work on the mindset. The mindset of an entrepreneur is not the same as the mindset of an order taker or of somebody who works for somebody else. You're not working for yourself. So you have to create that reality that, yeah, I am capable of doing 25 transactions. I am going to go there. That is what I want to pursue. So that's the first one. The second one that gets in the way of people getting a bronze award is poor business planning. They run their business day to day. They don't run their business as a plan. They don't have daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly goals that are within a big picture of a yearly and 5-year goal. And self-discipline. If there is a muscle that an entrepreneur must master, and that muscle is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the act of knowing what needs to get done and doing it whether you feel like it or not, consistently. Now, that is a skill. Some people think, oh, some people are born to be self-disciplined, others aren't. No. Self-discipline is actually a skill that you develop over time. And one of the things you'll be doing in this course is developing that muscle. And then the consistency of implementation. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. You want to be able to have checklists and procedures that you rely on every time you get a listing, every time you get a sale, every time you have a closing. I'll give you a hint. Did you know that most agents have a good checklist when they're working on a deal? So when they're working on a deal, let's say they're helping a buyer, they put together a transaction. Most agents do very well following the transaction. But you know what they don't have? They don't have a checklist for after the sale. You go, but Key, why would I worry about the checklist after the sale? Well, the checklist after the sale is about you getting people to give you more business in the future. So the checklist after the sale is not about whether you close the deal. Depositing the money in the bank is not the end of the transaction. Actually, it's the beginning of a whole new way of you working with other people. So the question you need to ask yourself is, are my systems well tuned? Am I checklisted? Do I have the right way of running my business? So this combination of mindset planning, self-discipline, consistency, all of those things get in the way of a lot of agents when they are striving to succeed. So your question is, are you going to push yourself to get to that place? So let me give you some ideas about prospecting. So when it comes to prospecting, there is something you need to ask yourself. Whether you want to call it fishing, whether you want to call it hunting, I call it prospecting. It's the art of asking for business. We are in the business of asking for business. And we want to do it organically. We don't want to do it in a manipulative way. We don't want to do it in a way that makes people think that we are salespeople. See, I don't think of you as in sales. I think of you as advisors. You are in the business of educating and advising consumers about their real estate needs. But you have to consistently ask for that business. How will people know to pick you? After a while, after you sold your uncle and your cousin and your neighbor their home, you got to start working with strangers. Not everybody, you don't build a career on only the people you know. You build your career on the people you don't know, and they pick you because you're the right person for them in that market. Those who wait for business tend to struggle the most in real estate. Those who are proactive and ask for business always do the best. So think of it this way. You want to be the person who gets on the boat or the ship that goes into the ocean, way out in the ocean, and does the fishing and the catching of the big fish and brings them to the shore. You don't want to be the person sitting at the shore waiting to clean the fish. Yes, we do need people to clean the fish. But if you want to control your income, if you want to control your business, you want to be in the business of catching. Servicing the lead, we have plenty of people to do that. Catching the lead before it is serviced, that's the skill that most agents either don't develop or never learn or never actually plan for. And guess what? Real estate schools don't teach you those things. So think about this way. Your career is made of 5 areas. There's 5 areas in your business that you have to master. What are they? The first one is your entrepreneurial mindset. How you think as an entrepreneur, how you think as a businesswoman or as a businessman. That's idea number one. You want to master that. Your planning of the day, how you start your day, how you end your day, how you work your business. We call that entrepreneurial mindset. I'm going to give you a tip. I think all of you at some point, when you get a chance, you want to consider this book. This book here has been around for a long time. It's called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It is a book that will teach you the E part of the business, which is the entrepreneurial part. See, most people know how to do paperwork. But see, you don't get paid 6% commission on a $300,000 house because you know how to shuffle paperwork. No, you get paid that money because you're a strategist and you have the marketing plan and you're a negotiator. So you need to shift your mindset towards being entrepreneurial. So that's idea number one. The second area that you have to master, which is 90% of agents don't do this. It's the consistency of prospecting. Prospecting is the act of finding the clients who will say yes to you and list with you or work with you to help them buy a home. But the most important aspect of this business is listings. Right now in 2021, the people who are doing really, really well are the listing agents. Now, that doesn't mean you cannot do well working with buyers. But if you don't balance your business between buyers and sellers, you're going to tend to struggle. There's going to be a hill for you to climb. It's much more difficult to get to 25 transactions just on buyers. Now, the third one is controlling the listing presentation. You don't want to create appointments and go to the appointments and blow it. You want to be able to go there and actually walk away with the sale. I don't call it a sale, I call it a listing. See, people think a sale is at the end of the transaction is when you make money. In real estate, we make money in passing. We advise, we work for free. So first of all, we work for free. You know that, I know that. But we advise, we cajole, we work the transaction, we negotiate, and at the end we get paid. So, but before we get paid, we don't get paid for that work that you do, the paperwork. See, that paperwork stuff is not considered what your value. Your value is convincing someone to go, you know something, Aaron, I'm going to list with you. Or my wife and I are going to trust you to purchase a home. That is the negotiation at the listing presentation. The fourth area, and this is also is a doozy, is time blocking. Most of our agents, their day has no structure. It is just la di da. I'll try this right now. Oh, I'll try that right now. And this is why about 80% of agents spend their time on Facebook, hoping for something to happen. And they don't realize that the river of real estate happens at the neighborhoods. It's not happening on Facebook. Yes, there is business to be had on Facebook, but it's not all there. So, how you structure your day from the beginning of the day and your habits, the things you do, is what's going to determine the outcome of the conversations you're going to have. See, until you talk to people, until they talk to you, until they open up to you and tell you why they're selling and why they're buying, you got nothing. So you want to create an environment of engagement. The more you are in events like open houses or door knocking or doing what I call passing door hangers, whatever you do to be in front of people, your chances of getting listing increase. The more you are isolated or hoping that they will call you, you no longer control your business. And finally, and this one also is a big one, is your ability to have mental toughness. And mental toughness can be reduced to this: being able to handle rejection. In fact, it's not rejection, it's the perception of rejection. People don't like to hear no. So you ask somebody, hey, let's say you're talking to your neighbor, you go, listen, Sally, have you thought about selling your home? And she goes, no, we're not selling. Oh, we love living here. And you go, okay, well, that's fantastic. If something changes, let me know. She didn't say no to you. She's not moving. Sally is not moving. It's not like because you're the one who asked, she goes, oh, no, I'm going to say no because you asked. No, that's not how life works. But it's your job to find those opportunities. In fact, it is your job to create opportunities to ask that questions. Have you thought about buying? Have you thought about selling? And the more you do that, the higher your chances are. As you can see, all of these 5 ideas are connected to one another. That's why the boot camp was designed. We need to stop thinking that people are born to be in real estate or not. That's not the right way to think about this business. The way to think about this business is those 5 areas I just talked about are areas of skill. You develop the skill. Just think of them as muscles in your body. And if you work out those muscles, you will be the better for it. So the more you work out the muscle, the stronger you get. So those 5 areas are areas of skill. You're not born with them. You may have some natural tendencies towards them. So let's say you're a people person. You like to talk to people. So you have a natural tendency. But that doesn't make you a listing agent. It makes you somebody who has a natural tendency to talk to people. You still need structure. You still need habits. You still need planning. You still need the mindset. And this is why it's a 3-month program. It's 8 weeks. By the way, going key, it's 8 weeks. 8 weeks is closer to 2 months. Well, let me explain. It's an 8-week program. Most people register 2 weeks before, because that's, by the way, usually the class closes 2 weeks before. So 2 weeks before, during those 2 weeks, I'm giving you homework to do. You're not sitting idle doing nothing. In fact, you get interviewed and you do 3 homework before you get invited to the course. So there's 2 weeks of work that you're doing. So you're developing the muscle and the habits. So you're getting ramped up. Then you have 8 weeks of work. And then the 2 weeks after that, there's a wrap up. So really, if you look at it in total, it's about 3 months. And the reason it's 3 months is because neuroscientists have found that a habit starts forming around the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th weeks. By the time you get to the 7th or 8th weeks, now it has a chance to stay with you. And if you carry it for another 6 weeks, now it becomes a good habit. By the way, good habits take longer to develop. Bad habits, like smoking, takes no time. Just boom, like that, and you have it. Good habits take longer to get established and stay with you. Bad habits don't take that much time. If I'll give you an example: watching TV. If you watch TV until late at night, guess what? That bad habit will stay with you for the longest time. You know why? Because you're watching Netflix and it takes you from one show to the next show and then from another show to the next show. All of a sudden, what you're doing is you are developing a bad habit. So I want you to consider this idea. When you develop good business habit, time becomes your friend. Time becomes an ally. You never complain about it. You're actually grateful for the time you have. You don't waste your time. You use your time properly. When you have bad habits, time becomes your enemy. You now have a friction with your time. You tend to create excuses. So if you look at time as a kind of fertilizer, something where you're planting your good ideas. When you take good ideas and you plant them with time in a good soil, you get results. When you take bad habits and you have the soil of time and you mix them together, you get excuses. This is why I always recommend that everyone, if you get a chance, to get this book. The book is called The Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuses by Brian Tracy. We should make this book a requirement book for every entrepreneur. And I'm not talking about real estate. I'm talking about any entrepreneur. Until an entrepreneur understands that the self part of self-discipline is the most important part, their chances of really wrestling this beast called your business, because it's a beast. If you want to wrestle that beast, you need to develop self-discipline. So, let me give you some mathematics. And they're not good news, but you can turn them into good news. In the United States, we have 2.1 million licensed agents. Of that 2.1 million, 1.4, 1.3, 1.4 are realtors. Now, in the United States, we only do 5 to 5.3 million listings a year. That's it. If you looked at the last 15 years and you averaged it, we do about 5 million listings a year. What does that mean? 500,000 agents can handle the whole business. Correct. Well, think about it. 500,000 agents, each one doing 10 listings a year. That's 5 million listings. That's all she wrote. So what game do you want to play? Do you want to play the game where you're playing with the 500,000 who are the players, which is the 20% or so? Do you want to play with them and be the controller of the listings? Or do you want to be with the other 800,000 or 1.5 million, almost 1.5 million if you count all the licensed agents who are dabbling? They do a little bit of this. They got lucky sometimes. And by the way, did you notice they always complain about the market? People were complaining about the market last year. And it was the best market in the last 7 years. If you took the last 7 years, the best market was last year. And you'll hear people going, oh man, that there was a terrible market. I couldn't find properties for my clients. Yes, because you were working primarily with buyers. See, in the United States, we do about 5 to 5.3 million listings. But you know how many people want to buy? About 8 to 8.5 million individuals or families. What does that mean? That means that there's 3 million each year who want to buy and not gonna buy. And who do they work with? They work with agents. And those agents at the end of the transaction, they work with them so hard for like 6, 7 weeks, and nothing happens and it fizzles and you don't get paid for your time. And it becomes very discouraging. Whereas with listings, 97% of all listings close. Yeah, there are listings that don't close because they have a special circumstance, but most listings are closing. So where do you want to play? See, in our industry, we only need 500,000 agents. I want you to be part of that 500,000. I want exit agents to be the leaders of the inventory. I want us to be courageous about getting listings. By the way, there's another benefit that that you don't get automatically. But if you become a listing agent, it's much easier to sponsor. Sponsoring, I've worked with a lot of brokers, I've worked with a lot of team leaders. The people who sponsor the fastest and the most in our exit system are listing agents. So there is a benefit to be gained. By the way, this is not listing versus buyers. No, I'm not talking about it that way. I'm saying if you've been putting all of your eggs in the basket of buyers, don't you think you need to add a little bit of listings in it so you can balance your business? And let me give you another statistics. For every 1 hour you spend with the seller, you have to spend the equivalent of 5 to 6 hours with the buyer. So if a transaction with the seller takes 10 hours, let's say, it takes 50 to 70 hours with the buyers, if we looked at it that way. So ask yourself, do I need to develop a prospecting strategy? Do I need to develop the muscle of asking for business so I can participate in the listing side of the transaction? See, this bootcamp, like I told you, is the fruit of about 20, 30 years of marketing and training and running a brokerage and working with agents. This is not something new. I've been doing this bootcamp. My God, I've been doing it for the last 8 years. This bootcamp, I do other trainings, but this bootcamp for at least 8 years. But here's what you need to know. I rarely do a Saturday one. I do a Saturday one only once every 2 to 3 years. And I only do 2 to 3 of these boot camps a year. And I only take 24 people. Because remember, it's a, why don't you take more people? Well, we're going to hold each other accountable. So this group of people are going to work together. It's not it's not a webinar. It's not a training in the traditional sense. It is a boot camp. At the end of it, the design of it is you become well planned, deliberate, systematic, have checklists, have a listing presentation, know what to say, have good scripts. If you don't have all of these tools, uh, you will do okay. But do you want to do okay or do you want to do great? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And here's what we found. We found that accountability, working with others who you hold accountable and hold you accountable, you do better. When you work solely by yourself, sometimes you may not do as well. So accountability allows you to make progress because progress is your friend. Who is this open to? Well, I can tell you this. The one I'm doing right now, about to finish, had 5 brokers and had 7 new agents, and the rest have been in the industry for a while. So you can be wherever you are. What matters is not where you are. What matters is what is your burning desire? What is inside of you that you want to achieve? If you know yourself capable of doing more, but you are lacking the 5 areas I discussed, or a big picture of those 5 areas so you can run your business, you may benefit from being boxed in. That's why the boot camp is. A boot camp is a way to box you in for 3 months to bring out the best in you. And the person who's going to be doing the work is you with the other people. So who should you be? Well, you should be the kind of person who's coachable. But the most important part as well is collaborative. You cannot take this class and go, Kia, I'm just gonna sit in the back and observe and watch. I don't want to do exercises. I just want to take the class as an intellectual exercise. I'm like, that's not the purpose of the class. Everybody in the class participates. Everybody talks. Everybody has to do videos. Everybody has to connect with other people. We have a special group where we interact with each other. There are morning routines. There are afternoon routines. There are big assignments each week. So we're always working together. Is it for everyone? Again, it is not for everyone. You already heard me say that. So let me give you some fundamentals. It is 8 Saturdays in a row. So the first thing you need to know right now, I only have 8 seats left. Just so you know, I only have 8 seats. The moment the 8 seats are filled, the boot camp is closed. So there are 8 Saturdays in a row. Starts May 8th. We start at 8:30 in the morning Eastern, and we go all the way to 12 noon. I have people in California who are taking the class. They start at 5:30 and they finish at 9. There's a 15-minute break, so each class is 3.5 hours long with a 15-minute break. You have to have and be in front of a laptop or a desktop with a built-in webcam or an installed webcam, and you have to have a decent internet connection because everything is live and everybody's webcam is on. So you'll be called on, you'll be interacting, you'll be working on script. We practice the scripts in the class. Not only do we learn them, we actually learn to write them, we learn to deliver them, and then we practice them with our success partners. So it's very practical, it's not intellectual. You will have daily assignments, you will have small assignments during the week, and then you'll have the big assignment of the week. So you'll be busy. But every assignment I give you is part of your business. It's not something that is outside real estate. It is real estate itself. Those who do the assignments start producing results like that. So the assignments are designed to help you start getting the listings and the sales you want. And there are requirements. Now, these are the topics I'm going to cover. I'm not going to read all of them, but I integrate every piece of marketing technology, every piece of prospecting. What I mean by that, prospecting on the phone, prospecting face to face, prospecting at the door, prospecting through social media, prospecting through YouTube, prospecting through your website, following up with your lead generation, learning how to blog and do videos. All of these things are connected through internet marketing and traditional marketing. And I combine these two things because right now we live in an age where you cannot separate them. You cannot say, well, I'm going to do real estate the traditional way. Like, what do you mean? You're going to sit in the office and wait for the phone to ring? That's not how it works. We have to do both. We have to do all of it in order to survive and succeed. And all of these topics, believe it or not, they are all connected. Now, there's a flyer in that URL I've given you. These are the requirements. Everybody has to read them and agree to them before they sign up. By the way, when you sign up, you do not pay for the course. When you sign up, you are reserving your seat. That's what you're doing, basically. You're reserving your seat. When you reserve your seat, we have a conversation. Then we go through 3 assignments. I'll give you the first one. You'll have 3-4 days to work on it. And then the second one, you'll have 3-4 days to work on it. And then the third one. And then after you complete those, and I see that you've given it your best. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just seeing that this person is doing the work. There is somebody who is really intentional. The way she's doing the work, the way he's doing the work, they want to go somewhere. Then you get invited into the class. So the first one assignment will be your vision. We're going to work on your vision, on your plan, where you're going. And I'm going to give you coaching on that. It will be one-on-one coaching with me. Then we'll go work on your branding. What is your visibility? Do you have any visibility? Let's start working on that visibility. And the third one are additional videos about success partnership and inbound marketing. You're going to learn everything you need to know about inbound marketing. So these are the 3 assignments. Once you complete them, you'll be invited to the course. It's only then that you will pay for the course. Each class comes with a 15 to 20 page handout. So by the time you finish the course, you'll have a binder about 3 inches thick that has about 250 pages. You will have also access to a library of video that I give you on top of the classes you're doing with me. So you'll have the live classes with me plus a library of videos, of 75 videos that I give for my participants. Some of them are about mindset. Some of them are strategic. Some of them are how to. Like the video I did recently for the group I'm doing is how to leverage the Exit Ad Center to get listings. So that was an additional video, a bonus video that I'm giving them to give them the tools to kind of compete in the marketplace. The course is $1,000. Um, For exit agent, it's $699. And because we have two major brokers who stepped up and they asked me, they're the one who asked me, open it up to other exit agent and brokers and open up the seats that are left to them, the course would be $375. So that's the course, but you don't pay for that until 2-3 days before the class starts. Uh, Remember, it's limited to 24 people. I may go to 30, but usually it's a broker who asks me, so I usually keep it to about 20 to 24. What else should you know? Some brokers actually have an incentive. Some brokers will want to pay for it indirectly, meaning that if you take the course and you start producing results, they will reimburse you. So I know several brokers who have incentives for agents who do this course. So at the end of it, the course will end up costing you nothing. In fact, you may actually benefit from it, not only from the learning you're getting and the application of the learning, but also from the bonuses that the company has. So ask your broker, whether it's Exit Realty Achieve or Exit Community Realty or one of your brokers, what incentives they have. But I'm going to be very honest with you. You should not take this course because of the incentive. You should take it because wherever you are, you want to raise the bar. And if wherever you are, you're ready to go to that next level, then the course may be for you. So let me give you some ways to contact me. The URL I gave you has all my information. But if you wanted my email or my phone number, it's on the screen right now. Remember, it is best to text me because I'm always in webinars. I'm always doing something with corporate. We do a lot of work with Canada, and therefore I'm not always. I'm always doing something like this. So sending me a text is the best way to get a hold of me, or sending me an email. Um, do you have any questions? By the way, you can use the chat function to put in your questions. So I'm going to give you time to put your questions in the chat function. But let me end with this idea about prospecting. The GPS satellites have all of the coordinates on the planet, but it is you who must set the destination. If you get your mindset right, if you get your goals focused on, and take massive action, you will get where you're headed. So having a GPS, so what? GPS, everybody can have a GPS. But until you know where you're going, until you know where you're headed, until you know what goals you want to achieve when you get there, until that's clear to you, and you take massive action, how will you get there? And it's you. It's all about you. I hope I've given you enough to understand this boot camp. Of course, if you want to register, go to that URL that you see on the screen and register or ask questions. I hope I explained it well for you. I know that I'm a bit out there and very expressive. Some people like it and some people don't. And I am aware of that. But I'm glad you were with me. I'm glad you spent some time with me explaining the boot camp. And hopefully, I will see some of you at the upcoming class. Register as soon as you can if you're interested. Don't wait until the last minute. The last boot camp I did, there were 7 people who came in 3 days before hoping to get in. I'm like, no, it's closed. And they're like, well, couldn't you add more people? I'm like, no, I told you. Once we get the 20 to 24 people, we close the shop. And we also, you have to do homework. So hopefully I answered your questions. I don't see any questions from you. I will see you later, my friends. Thank you for being with me.